Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
It's the Season 50 Emergency Pod.
Guys, breaking news. No one knew it was coming.
Well, we all knew it was coming. And
yeah, I know.
We knew exactly what was coming, unless we went to great lengths. I tried to live under a rock this week.
Yeah, and it didn't help that we kept posting leaked stuff in the group chat. But here's the thing, and this is, let's just start off high. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be breaking down all of the cast for the season 50, 25 years of Survivor. I mean,
I'm excited for this because I know how much you're excited for this right now.
I'm so pumped. When I saw the leaked list, for some reason I was like, lame. But then the second that Jeff revealed them one by one this morning at 9:30 or 8:30 on CBS Good Morning or whatever, I was so hyped every time he pulled out another name.
Me too. Especially like he'd say the name of the season. When he said Borneo, I was like, oh my gosh.
I was like, who? I was really hoping it was going to be the man, the myth, the legend. I thought it was going to be our boy from season 1, man.
Richie
Gervais.
Hatch. Oh. I thought you I was thinking Richard, but
Yeah, that was old bait and switch.
Gervais,
Oh,
I think Gervais has a pocket of fans.
Well, he's come back before, and I'm going to be real, I think he did a better job when he came back than he did the first time on Borneo.
And isn't his name Jervis, and we keep getting it wrong? Yeah.
Well, we call it Gervais because one of the owners of the network, he's only ever watched one season of Survivor, and it was the first one, and he keeps calling him Gervais.
Yeah.
He was a big Gervais fan.
I want to start this off by saying I didn't get the memo that Jeff was going to be on at 8:30. So I got up at 6:30, drank a coffee, sat down just to watch the news for an hour and a half.
My bad, man. So last night before I fell asleep, I double-checked. I was like, what time is it again? And I looked on Survivor's Instagram story, and they had it on there, 8:30. I was going to text you and be like, hey, it's 8:30. But I didn't want it to be a thing where I go, hey, just a reminder, it's 8:30. And then we do that thing that we do to Jonathan where we're like, yeah, we know. Where have you been? I thought maybe I misunderstood. So I
had no idea. So I just woke up and watched the news like an elderly person.
For 2 hours.
And I just sat there and watched. I was like, what else am I going to do right now? I'll just listen to Gail and Nate Burleson and whoever the other guy was. But because of that, I have this clip.
And so what does this mean? Dr. John LaPook has what you need to know about all of this. Plus, there's another arrest in that bizarre case of a crypto investor who allegedly kidnapped and then tortured a man for weeks. Very crazy story. But first, it is 7:17. Time to check your local weather.
What?
Crypto kidnapping. Hey, let's talk about the weather now.
They tortured him for weeks. All right, let's throw it. Let's see about that rainy day today.
Crypto, kidnapping, and torture. And also, that's a crazy story. Anyways.
And when we come back, the season 50 of Survivor. Some might claim that to be weeks of torture.
Yeah, I'm so
Not
happy
us.
it was Gail, though. I strategically hyped up Gail because I knew this was going to happen. I knew she would be there with Jeff. I saw it. I'm a visionary.
You are a visionary, but it was an accident.
I'm taking full credit.
If you're a recent listener to our show, we've been talking about this Gail lady ever since she went to space earlier this year.
Because I was celebrating somebody in the CBS family who they showed ads for on Survivor going to space.
Heck yeah, dude. Because when we watch Survivor, everyone's not just watching Survivor. We're all watching pretty much the same commercials. And so that's a part of our show. All right, we've vamped long enough. I'm too excited. Let's just start jumping in to all of the different casts.
All right, let's do it.
Let's start with number 1, baby, Jenna. Now, Jenna previous played on the first ever season of Survivor 25 years ago, Borneo, and she came back for All Stars a few seasons later. She is 47 years old, and that's going to be a trend that we're going to see a lot in this list. A lot of older players. We joked about doing a golden Survivor where it's all older contestants. A majority of these players this season are in their 50s.
Wait, how old? You said 47?
She is 47.
That's not too old.
No, but I mean, 47 compared to when she played the first time when she was 20. No, yeah, something like 20. The first time she played in Borneo, she finished 8th. And when she played in All-Stars, she finished 3rd, which was a Final 2 season. So she was eliminated right before the Final 2, which was Boston Robin Amba. She has a total of 14 challenge wins. That is not just individual, that is also tribe challenges. So she made it very far in both seasons she played in. So her team, I can't remember off the top of my head. I think she was on some winning teams pre-merge. And then, post-merge, I don't remember if she won any challenges individually, but she might have.
But do you remember, like a lot of, her story in Borneo? Because I don't.
We'll have to go back and watch the first season at some point because I really struggle. The only thing I really remember from that first season is Richard Hatch and his...
Well, Rudy, too, obviously.
Well, yeah, of course,
Sue,
Rudy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very different. And the challenges and everything, they don't hold your hand like they do now. Like, you just had to watch and pay attention because Jeff was not saying anything to you.
Jeff wasn't running around screaming at everybody, which is a shame because it's the best part of the show. All right, so after I go through the list, then we can. I want us to talk about who we think could possibly be the winner, who you think is going to be our number 1 draft pick from our draft, stuff like that. But let's just rapid fire through these. Next up, Colby from season 2.
Good old Colby.
The All-American hero, as Jeff called him this morning. He has played 3 times so far. He played in Australia, All-Stars, and Heroes versus Villains. He is 51 years old. He finished runner-up in Australia, very famously. 12th in All-Stars, and 5th in Heroes versus Villains. He has 26 total challenge wins. He is considered the original challenge beast, but, and this is just a note from me, when he played in Heroes versus Villains, they hyped up his return for Heroes versus Villains, and he was a challenge flop. He was not able to win many challenges in Heroes versus Villains. Everyone, I think, was it Ozzy? I think Ozzy was on Heroes versus Villains with him. Or maybe it was someone else. And they go, no, it wasn't Ozzy. But they're like, this is Colby, the challenge beast? What happened to him? Because he was sucking. So he's 51 now. If he wasn't doing so hot Heroes versus Villains challenge-wise, I can only imagine he might not do that great challenge-wise this year or next year.
His confessionals were so stupid, but in an endearing way. He'd be like, man, I just look out at the ocean. Life is good. And that would be it.
And then he would win a bunch of challenges.
Yeah.
And then he very famously, a lot of people thought he should have won that season. One last thing about Colby before we move on. He hasn't done good on any season except for Australia. I mean, he came in 5th place in Heroes versus Villains, but that was because he was a non-threat. Yeah. And so they could afford to take him further into the game. So I'm very excited. He could redeem himself this time.
Was he an early boot on All-Stars too? I don't remember.
All-Stars, he finished 12th.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, pretty early in the game.
Yeah.
But I think that was because he was seen as such a threat after Australia at that point. But anyway, Boston Rob ran that game. Anyway, next up, we have someone I'm extremely excited for. Stephanie is coming back for the 4th time. She played Palau, which was one of the craziest story arcs of all time, her and Bobby John making their way through. Oh, by the way, guys, spoiler alert.
Well, I think that's a
Maybe
given.
Maybe we should put a spoiler alert at the beginning of the episode or something like that. Or we'll just do it right here. We haven't spoiled too much.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about stuff that I don't even know about. So I'm going to be learning a lot in this podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I've seen 42 through 48 and then 1 through 15 or 16.
Right, so you're missing a big chunk there in the middle, which is where a lot of returning seasons happened.
So I'm going to get educated today. Like, I've seen Stephanie's 2 seasons.
Yeah. So Stephanie, she played in Palau, where her and Bobby John famously got picked off one by one, and then she was in a tribe by herself. The only time that's ever happened. Then she came back for Guatemala, which was the immediate next season. Her and Bobby John both came back.
Dude, and when they revealed that, I lost my mind.
It was awesome. Guatemala is another great season. Then she came back again for Heroes versus Villains. Stephanie is 45 years old. She finished 7th in Palau. So even though they got picked off, she still made it pretty far. Then in Guatemala, she was the runner-up. And then in Heroes versus Villains, she was eliminated 2nd. So she came in 19th out of 20.
Wow.
Yes. She has 10 total challenge wins. So out of 3 seasons, she has only won 10 challenges.
Yeah, I mean, people talk about disaster tribes. She was on the disaster tribe.
Yes.
And she was the only one left.
And like that was said, what was crazy is they sent her back to tribal. Like from tribal after eliminating Bobby John.
Yeah. By
herself to camp. And they were just like, we're going to keep playing. Which I think that season is the reason that we get the tribe swap when a tribe gets pretty low now.
Yeah, but it was like it was just so captivating, that story with her and Bobby John. Bobby John losing his mind. It's fun that Brand's watching that season right now, so he's getting to experience it.
Yeah, he's watching Guatemala right now. Yeah,
he's like, guys, I think Bobby John is going crazy.
Man, that's an underrated season. Guatemala, dude. Yeah. The location is one of the most memorable for me because it's so different than all the other like beach seasons. Mm-hmm. Anyway, next up we have one of the biggest Survivor legends of all time, Cirie. Cirie played in Panama, Micronesia, Heroes vs. Villains, and Game Changers, as well as she has been seen on Traitors, she has been seen on Big Brother, she has been seen on a ton of game shows very recently. It seems like maybe she just needed some money. So she's like, I'm going to be doing the rounds.
Well, I feel like her bank account's doing great right now. She's going to be on Australian Survivor soon. And then she's going to go straight from that to American Survivor. That's insane.
That is crazy that she's going to be playing this summer. Or she already played Australia versus the world. She's on a plane right now as we speak to go film Survivor 50. She is 54 years old.
Yeah, like physically, that would be really hard for somebody in their 20s to do. Play Survivor back to back like that.
Yes. When she first played in Panama, she finished 4th. When she played in Micronesia, she finished 3rd. When she did Heroes versus Villains, she finished 17th. And then in Game Changers, she finished 6th. She has 22 total challenge wins.
I know some people don't want to see her again just because she's played so many times.
Yeah.
But I've only seen the 2 Cirie seasons, so I'm really excited for Cirie because she was amazing.
Yeah, I love every time Cirie plays Survivor. I think where the criticism of like oversaturation is because she was just on Big Brother, she was just on Traitors, she's going to be on Australia. I think people are just like it's what Jeff was saying when he talked about when other shows like Traitors take famous Survivor players, where it's like it's not going to feel special when they come on the show again. And I think that he nails that point. A lot of people disagreed with him on that. I think it's true.
I think I disagree with him on it a little bit.
I just, it's you haven't watched Traitors or Big Brother, or I think she was on Deal or No Deal Island or something like that as well. But like you haven't watched those, so you haven't. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll watch them all and get back to you on if I want to see Cirie.
But that being said, I am very excited about Cirie. I think I would have rather seen Sandra come back. in that place of like Survivor legend who has played a lot. But Suri is always awesome and always fun to see. Next up, my favorite Survivor player of all time. I am so pumped. This is another person that people are kind of iffy about seeing again. Ozzy.
Wow. I mean, yes, he's controversial. I'll say that. But
Yeah, he is.
I feel like Ozzy is. It's like you took somebody out of a pirate movie and put them on Survivor.
Dude, Ozzy, man, he's his stats. I'll just do his stats because he played Cook Islands, then Micronesia, South Pacific, and then Game Changers. Ozzy is 43 years old. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Because I think he was 18 the first time he played, which was the Race War season, Cook Islands. He finished runner-up in Cook Islands, 9th in Micronesia, 4th in South Pacific, and 12th in Game Changers. He has a total of 43 challenge wins. In season 50, he could break 50 challenge wins.
Yeah, I mean, with the tribe ones include, how many individual challenges has he won? Do you have that number?
I don't have it in front of me, but I know that he is tied for the record of most individual immunity challenges won in a single season, which is 5. In Cook Islands, he was considered a challenge beast. He won so many challenges. Then in Micronesia, he came back and won so many challenges. So it's just, I mean, what I'm not looking forward to is if 43-year-old Ozzy shows up and isn't as good as prime Ozzy. You know, that's going to be a letdown.
Did Ozzy invent the fake idol?
No, that would be, was it Yao Man?
Oh.
Or it was in Cook Islands, I'm pretty sure. Or the season right after Cook Islands. South Pacific, I think, is what that's called. Or no, that's not. I don't remember. But no, he did not invent the. But he has one of the greatest fake idol plays where he just took a stick.
That's what I'm.
And it was just a stick.
And he bought it, and then then he shows it to Eliza. I think it was Eliza, and she's like, "I can't believe it. He's an idiot. It's just a freaking
it's
stick."
a stick. Dude, Ozzy's one of my favorite players of all time. He's considered one of the best players to never win. So maybe this is his time. Maybe with age comes the ability to win the game. I mean, he's very controversial outside of the game. I think
yeah. I mean, I didn't know that CBS would let him do it after his ventures into other things.
Hey, man, I think he's always kept a good relationship with Jeff and CBS, but yeah, his other ventures.
That's how I'll describe it.
Ozzy's the one that I'm most excited for. Guys, I mean, I'm going to do, realistically, because I know myself and I do this every draft, I'm going to draft Ozzy first.
Oh, yeah, for sure. He's your favorite.
He's my favorite of all time.
I know I shouldn't draft Suri, but I love Suri. She's like, I think Suri's my favorite Survivor player.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great favorite to have. Ozzy, if Ozzy wasn't on this season, I would have really liked to see Malcolm, who might be, he's in tight contention with my number one.
He's like
top
a Survivor
4.
legend or like a myth because I haven't seen the season, so he's just this myth that I hear about all the time. Malcolm and Denise.
Yeah, dude. Well, so he was like the Ozzy after Ozzy played, and then the two of them played on the same season. Anyway, next up, another Survivor legend. We have the Dragon Slayer, Coach.
This is another guy I'm not familiar with who I've heard legends about, so you'll have to educate me.
If you love Banu and you love Andy,
and
you're going to love
I drafted both of them.
You're going to love Coach, man. He is a legend. He played on Tocantins?
Tocantins.
Heroes versus Villains, and then South Pacific. He is 53 years old. He finished 5th in Tocantins, 12th in Heroes versus Villains, and he was the runner-up in South Pacific. He has a total of 18 challenge wins.
But so he's a big character, and that's why people like him.
He's a big character. He calls himself the Dragon Slayer.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about that.
He's the kind of guy that, like, his confessionals were just off the wall.
Does he play an instrument? I think he did something with Ben Katzman. I saw Ben promoting a concert that he was doing some performance with Coach, so I felt like Coach
maybe he
plays
does.
something.
Probably, but on his seasons, man, he's just one of those that was like, on his first season, he was so out there and so weird. They brought him back for Heroes versus Villains, and he doubled down and was even weirder.
Was he a hero or a villain?
He was a villain.
I don't know. Dragon Slayers kind of sounds like a hero.
Dude, I don't even know how to explain him. I'll have to pull some clips and show you later that I don't have spoilers. But he'll just do things like if someone he'll sit down with someone who'll be like, "This is who we're voting tonight because I'm the Dragon Slayer, and I'm going to take out my competition one by one." And then he'll be doing taekwondo on the beach, and he's just so out there, man. He's awesome.
So he's actually evil Banu.
Yeah, he's like evil Banu. He's actually a very strategic player. I mean, he was runner-up in his third time playing, so I'm very excited to see him come back. Next up, we have someone. Her name's Aubrey.
Yeah,
she played on her first season was Brains versus Brawn versus Beauty, which I've seen. Then she comes back for Game Changers, which I've seen, and then she comes back a third time in Edge of Extinction, which is my next season that I have to watch. When she showed up, because I've seen the first couple episodes of Edge of Extinction, when she showed up, they talked about her. She's back again. What? I love Aubrey.
Do you remember in 46 when Q was talking to Mariah?
Yeah.
And she said her favorite player was Aubrey. And Q goes, if somebody's going to play like Aubrey, then I need them out of here.
So I did some research. Yeah. And here's the thing about Aubrey. I remember her a little bit in Brains versus Brawn versus Beauty. She was on the Brains tribe. She finished runner-up. She was the runner-up on that season. Then she came back for Game Changers, and that's where she got a huge reputation for being an extremely intelligent, strategic player. She finished 5th that season, and then she came back for Edge of Extinction, and she was 16th. So her last showing was not great. She's 39 years old. She has 20 total challenge wins. She's a super strategic player. I'm excited to see she's a cutthroat player. And so I'm excited to see a cutthroat player go up against some new era players like Joe.
This season is not going to be like 48 at all.
No. I mean, just the ones that we've talked about so far. Ozzy, Coach, Sari, Stephanie. Mostly those. Those are all cutthroat players.
When you see all those together, I just get so excited about it.
Dude.
I'm so pumped for this season.
I knew season 50 would have to be big because it's the 50th season of Survivor, but I think I've let the internet convince me that it was going to suck. And so this morning when the cast was revealed, I'm just over the moon. I'm vibrating today. Next up, we have Chrissy, not the one you're thinking. Chrissy is talking. This is Chrissy. We'll be able to use that sound drop for 50.
We will. That's true. It'll be passed on to a new Chrissy.
Or an old Chrissy, really. Chrissy is from Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers. That's an interesting season. She's 54 years old. She was the runner-up for that season, and she has 13 total challenge wins. She was the oldest Survivor player to win, female, to win 4 individual immunity challenges in one season.
At 54?
Yeah. No, she's 54 now.
Oh, okay.
So I don't remember how long ago.
Yeah, she would have been 60-something now, so that wouldn't have worked. But
yeah, but I mean, if she was breaking records as the oldest back then, if she does some stuff, it's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't heard too much about her.
Yeah, I mean, she's only played one season before, so this will be her second season. But apparently she was a big enough fan favorite to come back for 50. So,
all right, I'm excited. Chrissy is speaking.
Next up, I'm so hyped about this. If it wasn't for Ozzy, this would probably be my number one pick. I mean, well, we'll see when we get to the actual draft. But, guys, from David and Goliath, Christian, Dude, you
Dr.
haven't watched
Christian
this
Kubicki.
season.
I know about him because he comes on Rob Has a Podcast a lot, but I've never seen the season.
Dude, I just watched David and Goliath for the first time. It's one of the best seasons ever, which is why they brought back 3 people from that season. Dude, Christian is awesome. He's 39 years old. He finished 7th in David versus Goliath. He should have won the season, in my opinion, but everyone thought so, and that's why they voted him out, because he was a huge threat. He has a total of 9 challenge wins. Dude, I think he's one of the biggest fan favorites coming into 50.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. Maybe I should just jump to that season next because you've been raving about it.
Dude, you should, and I would hope maybe all of the Making the Merge hosts. I know realistically it's not going to happen, but to just watch the seasons that the season 50.
Yeah,
cast
I'll
wins.
do it. Will
I know you
Jonathan do
will.
it? That's the question.
I didn't want to call him out, but
Yeah.
him and Kristen, I don't think are gonna watch. I hope they watch season 50.
Yeah, me too.
But you guys should definitely watch the season so that way you know who to draft going in. Because guys, This is the first year I suck at drafting players. I suck at drafting players so bad, but there is no one on Making the Merge that knows these old seasons better than me.
So you think this is your time to shine, and it sounds like you're going to want Christian on your team.
I'm going to want Christian. I'm going to want Ozzy. I'm going to want a lot of these guys. This is going to be the first season since we started doing the draft where, I'm going to want all 4 of the players I draft, or 5, because there's more than 18 or whatever.
Yeah.
There's not going to be any, who's going to be picked last? Oh, we know who's going to be picked last.
Yeah, somebody will fall, but it's going to be more interesting because everybody is a good prospect, pretty much.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be the best season of Making the Merge yet.
Yeah,
I
I'm so
can't
excited
wait.
to cover it week by
Me
week.
too. Dude, the draft is going to be insane. If I lose, I won the first draft of our podcast era, right? So I'd take that on as a pretty big achievement. If I can make my next win be the season 50 win, brother, I'd go down as the GOAT of Making the Merge. I'd shoot right past you.
Yeah, that's why I need to destroy you. I got to do some tape study on these people. I will. I'm going to be in the lab, okay?
I know you will, man. Next up, also from David versus Goliath, we have Angelina, huge fan favorite, 35 years old. She was the runner-up of David versus Goliath.
Something about a jacket, right? I hear that a lot.
Yes. She has 6 total challenge wins. She is known for being I don't want to spoil too much of the season, but since you already know about the jacket thing, she's just so outspoken, and she doesn't have social cues well.
Perfect.
So basically what happens is they blindside someone, and then as the person that is blindsided is leaving, she asks if she can have her jacket. And she does stuff like that all season. I was surprised hearing that she's such a fan favorite because I kind of saw her as a villain. But at one point she tries to convince other people in the tribe to vote for her so that way she can play her idol and do a big psych, I'm actually safe tonight. But she wasn't the target. So she tried to choreograph it so that the jury would think she made a big move. I don't know. She's a super interesting player. You need to watch David versus Goliath ASAP. Next up,
I'm gonna get into it.
also from David versus Goliath, the creator of White Lotus, the writer of Nacho Libre and School of Rock, Mike White.
Yeah, one of the most famous people in the world right now, it feels like. This is a
Yeah.
big deal getting him on. I haven't even seen the season like I've said, but I know he's a huge deal.
Yeah, well, he's 54 years old. He was the other runner-up for David versus Goliath. He has 9 total challenge wins. And the thing about Mike White, obviously, he's extremely famous right now because White Lotus. He was extremely famous when he went on the show. Nacho Libre, School of Rock, he was a big, successful Hollywood screenwriter. I think a lot of people will think, hey, Mike White will be eliminated pretty early because everyone's going to be like, he's the guy that directs White Lotus. He created White Lotus. He doesn't need the money. Let's get rid of him. Guys, his season in David versus Goliath, he that should have been what happened to him then. Everyone knew that he didn't need the money. He was the runner-up. And so every season we see a player like Mitch where their game or their strategy is not being a threat, staying in the sidelines, not making any big moves so that they end up at the end. And most of the time, it's like, or not most of the time, every time, it's like you're just not playing. You're floating to the end. It's not a good strategy. It never works. Mike White is the only player I've ever seen do that strategy of not being a threat, not being the forefront, playing behind the scenes, and it actually work, and it look incredible too. So he's an iconic Survivor player as well as being famous screenwriter.
I'm excited for it. I'm going to watch White Lotus too. It's going to be part of my tape study. I haven't seen that either.
Well, there's a lot of like Angelina, who we just talked about. She shows up in White Lotus. He's really good friends with her. They were on the season together. They're the runners up together.
Yeah.
White Lotus, I think, I haven't seen it. I haven't watched White Lotus because I've been saving it for my YouTube stuff. But from what I understand, Survivor has heavily influenced that show.
Yeah, Johnny Fairplay has a minor role.
Really?
No, not
that's
really.
Funny. Oh. Why would you lie? I can't be like, no.
Because I thought you would say that.
I hadn't seen it. I don't know.
Oh. Who's next?
Next up, this is someone that I do not know. This is Edge of Extinction, Rick
Devens. Okay, this is somebody that I can speak on a little bit just because I listened to the first season of the On Fire podcast, and Rick Devens was the guest, or he was the guest co-host, and I didn't realize they were gonna kick him off the show. I wish he kind of just stayed every season instead of replacing him with other new era people every season. But he was really good. He came off as very charismatic and charming on the podcast, so I feel like if that is any indication of how he played, then I see why people like him.
Yeah, so I've only seen the first episode of Edge of Extinction at this point. He's 41 years old. He finished 4th, and he has 8 total challenge wins. He seems to be a pretty big fan favorite.
I think he did something, maybe it was an idol play or a fake idol or something that was a big deal. I know that, but I don't remember exactly what it was.
Well, I guess we'll find out when we're watching tape
when I'm
in the off
grinding
season.
tape.
Yeah, dude. Because I only have 6 seasons left, and then I've seen every single season. You have quite a bit.
But I can just tailor it to this list now.
Yeah.
So I can just go and, that's what I'm going to do. Take notes on everybody. I mean, this is going to be the most information we have going into a draft because we haven't drafted former players ever.
Right, because we started the draft with 44.
Yeah.
And then we started the podcast with 47.
Yeah.
So, all right, this next person is someone that PD will have to speak about because I haven't seen this season and you have. Season 42, Jonathan. He's 32 years old. He finished 4th in his season, and he has 9 total challenge wins.
Man, I would love to talk about Jonathan. Jonathan, there was one challenge where he literally carried 2 people on his back in the ocean because they were swimming so slow. He just grabbed them and swam with them to the shore, which was insane.
Awesome.
I had never seen anything like it. Jeff was like, he's literally carrying the team on his back.
That is sick, dude.
So he was a challenge beast, but he was also he was dumb in a way that was endearing. Kind of like Colby, but I don't know, maybe better. A little bit more. But I mean, there was also a moment where he was talking to this other player named Omar on the beach about their faith and stuff, and he came across like a really nice guy to me, even though sometimes he would get annoyed by the women talking. So that was I think one thing.
Oh boy,
that was one thing that people didn't like about him. But
fair enough.
Very much himbo.
Yeah, himbo definitely feels like the right vibe for this guy. I'm excited to watch that season because I've seen this guy's face come up a lot in discourse. So, next up, PD's. Oh man, PD's about to go crazy. From season 45, 28 years old, the youngest female on this season.
Yeah.
The winner of season 45, so far the only winner in season 50. 9 total challenge wins. Ladies and gentlemen, it's D.
Yep, and we're talking about the new Parvati. That's what I'm going to say.
Oh my
D
God.
is going to be a Survivor legend. She played the most dominant game of the new era.
Dude.
I think D... You can disagree with me all you want. D is a
I'm
legend.
I'm going to shut up.
And I saw it coming, and that's why I picked her to be on my team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's an argument to be had that Rachel was the best new era player. D is number 2 in that scenario.
I'll give you that. 100%.
Yeah, because
If it's not Rachel, it's D. I'll give you that.
she had she had the tight alliance.
Yes.
And then backstabbed the person that she was closest to.
Yes.
At the very end, and then he didn't even realize it, and then she revealed it to everybody. And it was the moment that I think she won over the jury. So it was just a brilliant game. She was good in challenges, too.
Yeah. No, she's a great player. She's a great winner. I was very excited to see. I mean, she could be potentially a 2-time winner.
Yeah. And like you said, you're going to be really tempted to draft some of the old era people. Like I think it's going to be really hard for me not to take
draft
D first. Yeah.
Do you think her being a winner and being only one of 2 winners in this season that are coming back, do you think that's going to put a big target on her back?
Yeah, it probably will. But we just saw in 48, sometimes big targets make it all the way to the end.
But that's the thing about returning season is most of these people are big threats.
Yeah, because, I mean, the other Survivor players might feel like a bigger deal even to the people on the island just because they were on TV back when everybody in America was watching.
Here's what I'll give you.
I think she deserves to be on 50, absolutely.
I agree 100%. If she can show up on season 50 and play another great game, I'll give you that she's one of the most dominant winners of the new era. I don't love season 45, and I didn't think that she was that awesome of a winner. I think if it wasn't for your undying love for her, I wouldn't even really remember her much.
Is some of this fueled by the fact that she won me a trophy? Probably.
It could be.
It's possible that influenced.
But I also think, and I know this is going to sound biased because Rachel was the one that won me the trophy. I think Rachel's season had a better game. She was an underdog who overcome the odds and won after all. D was just in a tight alliance. I don't know.
D was running the game. That's how I look at it.
She was. You're not lying. All right. Also from season 45, her big thing that everybody likes to talk about, including Jeff this morning on CBS, everyone hated her. And then she became a fan favorite.
Dude,
Emily.
Everyone did hate her. They accused her of being racist. Do you remember the first week with Bruce when Bruce was saying something and she just... I don't remember the moment exactly. I just remember Bruce gave some answer and then she like barked at him for no reason. And people are like, is she just like a horrible person? And then over time, she had this total redemption arc.
Yeah, and it was fun. It was a very entertaining... I mean, season 45... Like I said, not my favorite season, but I would say that Emily was one of my watching that arc of like villain to hero kind of was very entertaining.
Well, I think season 45 was a good season because Austin, Drew, Dee, Emily, Caleb, there was a lot of fun people on that cast. And Bruce.
Yeah, but then maybe it would be more memorable if 46 hadn't been right after and was like super entertaining.
Yeah.
Also about Emily, she will be 30 years old. She finished 7th in her season, and she has 3 total challenge wins.
And she is a financial analyst Emily Flippin.
That's right.
It's important to say that.
Exactly. All right. From season 46.
Oh, but one more thing about Emily. That was a Team Kristen player. Do you think Kristen's going to want her back?
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of different things going into this draft, yeah.
there's going to be a lot of history. One thing that I want to do is, and I'm going to try to make this today, I want to make a graphic showing all of the Season 50 players that we have drafted before.
Yeah, which I have 4 people, which says maybe I know a thing or two about picking Survivor players if all my players are coming back.
I mean, listen, there's no denying that when it comes to the Making the Merge, Jody Newell Cup, PD's the GOAT. Kristen coming up real close.
We're competing.
You guys
for
are fighting
right
for
now.
it. PD always drafts really great players, and then also he drafts really memorable players like Andy and Banu. So, there's no denying that you're the GOAT, man. But I think after I win Season 50, this is my time to take over. Next up, from Season 46, the man that I thought was going to win me the cup, the draft, baby, the start of Q Nation. Q.
Oh, dude, can we play the cameo that Q sent to you?
Yeah, let me. It'll probably take me too long to find it. It'll probably take me too long.
I could talk about Q while you find it because
do that.
Yeah, so the Season 46, I feel like without Q, it would not have been nearly as memorable because
exactly.
He was just such a compelling character. In the beginning, he was trying to coach up Banu, and he just couldn't do it. And they had to let Banu go. But I remember him sitting at Tribal, telling everyone to vote for him, and it just caused mass chaos. And it was one of the craziest Tribals I had seen in the new era where everybody's just getting up. They don't know what to do. Like, Q just told everyone to vote for him, but then they somehow all agree to vote out Tevin. And I remember being like, why? How did this get turned around on Tevin when Q literally asked everybody to vote for him and he meant it? But we got amazing moments like the Q skirt and then hide and seek with Q. Remember that?
You can cancel Christmas.
Do you remember hide and seek where he got them all to play hide and seek and then he's like, he described how everybody played hide and seek and he's like, based off of this is how they were going to play the game. Like, Ben's hiding in the bushes. That's the kind of game he's playing.
Q is one of my favorite players in the new era. I was so happy I drafted him. He's 31 years old. He finished 6th, and he has 4 total challenge wins. But most importantly, he sent me this Qmeo.
Chase, what it do, man? It's your boy Q. Yes, I'm in an airport, and I'm traveling, but I had to get on here just to tell you a little something. You had a Survivor draft, right? Survivor draft, where you had an opportunity to take me first, and you didn't. You took Hunter. Dude, the guy's at home now. Why not take me first round? Why wait till the second round to pick me? But I got to tell you something. I'm the last person left on your team. I'm the last line of defense for you, Chase. But you still got a shot, brother. Hey, let me just tell you. We're not out of this thing. We're going to fight, and if I go home, I go home, but at least you're going to have a fighter left on your team. Everybody else in this league, let me just tell y'all something. PD, Jonathan, Christine. First of all, y'all are awful people because you didn't draft me at all. I mean, Chase, you're not off the hook. You drafted me second round, but for all you other ones that drafted me never, big mistake. I just wish for the next 3 times in a row, your Christmas is just canceled. You don't even have it. But Chase, listen, man, smile, be proud. You still have a fighter on your team that's ready to go. We're not going to give up. We're not out of it. And guess what? We can very well win this thing. So look, cheer up, smile, man. To all you other jabronis, cancel Christmas in peace.
And then he went home right after that.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I didn't realize that that's where we pulled the big mistake.
And you know why we pulled it from there?
Why?
Because he didn't say it on the show.
Dude, that's what I was saying. I couldn't
realize believe it when that became a legend.
Right. I thought that was from the show. I didn't realize that was from the cameo.
I watched every moment of Q on 46 looking for big mistake to put it in our intro. I couldn't find it. So
it was just in the cameo.
And I had asked him to do it. But I feel like it was a thing that people said when they talk about Q, and I just couldn't find the footage anywhere.
I thought so too. That's insane. And also the part where he goes, you pulled something else from this video.
We could very well win this thing.
Yeah, we could very well win this thing.
Yeah.
I thought that was when he said on the show. I didn't realize that was from the cameo.
We paid him to say that and then used it in the intro. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I thought it would be so funny, and I knew how much you loved Q.
Yeah,
so
dude,
surprising you with a Qmeo, it was a great moment. We didn't have a podcast or anything back then. We just did it for fun.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have done some really fun stuff for me during some of these seasons, but the Qmeo is got to be the top.
We got one contestant to harass you about your history knowledge, and that was fun too. So, but Q, I'm so excited he could bring back the Q skirt. Q on season 50 is a big deal. I need a Q and Coach alliance.
Dude, and what's crazy is they would probably dominate together. Also from season 46, because we got 3 people from season 46, which makes sense because that was a very entertaining cast. This next one, though, a little surprising to me. We have Tiffany.
Yeah.
Tiffany, 34 years old. She finished 8th on that season, and she has 2 total challenge wins.
But I will say, Tiffany, she gave a lot in confessionals. She wasn't like doing what people in 48 do, where they barely say anything and they just kind of state the obvious.
Yes. She was very entertaining. I'm excited to see her because that's the thing about returning seasons, especially back in the old days when everyone had only played once and then they come back for a returning season. Legends are made in returning seasons.
Yeah. And I drafted Tiffany. I drafted her because she found an idol on like the first or second episode. So I was like, yeah, I'll bet on that.
And it was a good bet. I mean, she finished 8th, so it's like, you know, she went pretty far in the season. Speaking of people who went,
I think she was my first round pick, wasn't she? In season 46.
Really?
Yeah, I took Charlie in the 3rd round, but we'll get to him.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of him, from season 46, Charlie.
Yeah.
So Charlie, here's the thing about Charlie. He is the same age as Dee. He's 27, which means that he's the youngest male on this season. So Charlie and Dee are the youngest players in season 50 by a lot.
Charlie, he's on my Mount Rushmore right under Dee.
Yeah, he was the runner-up of season 46, so he made it farther than both Q and Tiffany.
And it was brutal having drafted him and really been rooting for him, and then for him to get betrayed. He got betrayed by Maria. She flipped her vote to Kinsey, and he lost by 1 vote. And he lost by 1 vote because it would have been a tie, and then Ben Katzman said he would have voted for Charlie in the tie.
Yeah.
That's a brutal way to lose, man.
It is. But now he's coming back.
Yeah,
he has
I'm
7
really
total challenge wins. Now you really rode hard for Charlie in that season. I'm not going to draft him unless I have to.
Hey, he was one of the only people thinking really strategically in that season, and in the midst of the chaos.
Yeah, he was a good player. There's no denying that.
Lots of Taylor Swift references. We'll probably get some more of that in season 50.
Yeah, I didn't care much for that.
So it was a big Katy Perry season for us this year with the Gale and the Blue Origin stuff. It might be a big Taylor Swift season in 50.
I hope not. Next up, this is someone that Jonathan drafted in season 47,
and she almost put a Banu tattoo on Chase's body. Explain that,
ladies and gentlemen. Genevieve is coming back for season 50. Insane, because I made a statement not too long ago.
We had an argument about this, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. We did have an argument about this. Here's the backstory. When we were drafting for season 47, and this was the first season of us doing Making the Merge, the podcast, Jonathan drafted Genevieve.
Yeah, he had the first pick.
Very quickly.
He drafted her first out of everybody. He had the pick of everybody on the show. He drafted Genevieve. And we had not seen but 2 Genevieve confessionals in 2 episodes. So we didn't even know what she looked like.
Yeah. Like, me and PD were blown away that she was the first draft pick out of the entire draft. So, when he does that, we're kind of furious. And I go, Genevieve will not win this game. Genevieve won't even make the merge. And then I go, in fact, if Genevieve makes it to the final 3, I will get a tattoo on my body of your choosing. It very quickly became a Banu tattoo.
Because of course it did.
Yes. Genevieve went on to play a pretty good game.
She was 1 episode away from the final 3.
And I was sweating, dude.
Yeah.
So then the other week, we're all arguing, or maybe it was just me and you, but we're arguing about Genevieve coming back for season 50. And I was like, I can see her come back for season 50. But she ain't gonna win. And I even said, I'll bring the bet back.
What? You're going to bring the Genevieve Banu bet back for 50?
I might, man.
So
I'm going to have to wait to see how she plays.
Why don't we raise the stakes? If she makes merge, you got to get the Banu tattoo. Is that
no? That's too easy. Too easy.
Okay, then what's the number? Can we make it final 5?
I think it's final 3, dude.
Okay, so it has to be the same bet.
I think so, but
I'm just trying to get this Banu tattoo on you.
Well, that's the thing is I might change it up because we might watch the first episode, and I might be like, listen, guys, if Joe makes merge, I'll get this fucking tattoo. Like,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be just Genevieve, you know?
Yeah, but we'll see because it would be funny because that was one of the big themes of our podcast for season 47. We were like, one week closer to the Banu tattoo, and like I was rooting,
sweating, dude.
I wanted Genevieve to win the game if I didn't win. Because I wanted you to have the Banu tattoo and for her to be a winner.
My wife was furious with me because we were watching every week, and it was really looking like she was going to make it to the final 3. And Elizabeth was like, I cannot believe that you did that. And I was like, it's entertainment, baby. You don't know. I'm a showman. But, yeah,
she doesn't want to see Banu on your body forever?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing is, like, I think the tattoo we discussed, it would be like a heart.
Yeah, it would say 1 million hearts above it.
It would say 1 million hearts above it, you know. But I actually kind of really wanted to get it because I thought it would go viral on TikTok.
Yeah. So, hey, Genevieve or whoever we end up doing.
Yeah.
Hopefully
if we end up doing it, it has to feel right, you know.
Yeah, let's
we
talk
don't want
about
to force it.
Genevieve a little bit. She made decisions that confused me, like when she aligned herself with Rome and then she voted out Saul after Rome went home. I
Saul
did not
Nation,
understand because she could have been, she could have pulled Saul in, and he could have been a number for her. I didn't get that, and then her fixation on what Kishan said to her. That was like the big driving force of her confessionals and everything about how like she really struggled to separate her emotions from the game, and then so she just like cut herself off and like was becoming a ruthless, what do they call it, a game bot, right? Basically.
Yeah. She's just one of those players, and we see them often. She plays hard. She's memorable because she plays hard, but she just didn't make it to the final 3, you know. And I'm
Operation
glad that she's
Italy was also, that was a big moment.
Yeah,
which ultimately
have been.
Didn't do anything, but for that 1 week it was awesome. You can't deny that.
Oh, 100%, because at that point of the season, it had slowed down.
Yeah, you should go listen to me and Jonathan recap that episode where we're like, this is the greatest episode in Survivor history, the best move ever. Like, this saved us, and now Genevieve or Andy can win the game. And we were wrong about everything we said.
Yeah, that was one of those that I missed.
Yeah.
Because even after it happened, I did the math, and I was like, I don't think Operation Italy even did anything. Like, at the end of the day, it was so complicated for it to be a pretty basic vote out.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We're getting 3 players from Survivor 48.
Which is crazy, I think.
I was a little critical of it at first, where I was like, why do we need 3 players from Survivor 48? Mm-hmm. But after I read out these players, we can talk about it.
Yeah, we just talked about them for 3 months, so we can be a little bit more brief about these guys.
Yeah, so Camilla is 31 years old. She finished 4th. She lost at fire making. She would have won the season if she would have won fire making. I think it's safe to say.
I'm so pumped to see her back.
Yeah. She won 8 total challenges. Look, Camilla, I think, deserves to be back. Out of anyone in season 48, she's the one I'm most excited to see come back.
Yep.
Next up, also coming back, the winner of season 48, one of 2 winners coming back, Kyle. He's 31 years old. He was the winner of season 48, and he has 9 total challenge wins. I feel like we have the most to say about Kyle coming back, probably.
I do think that Kyle deserves to come back because he won, but I would rather just see Camilla from this season, I think. But I don't mind Kyle being on the cast. I think Kyle gave a lot, even if nobody could do anything about the Power Alliance. Everything that he did worked out great for him. So like we were pretty critical of him, but at the end of the day, he won the game.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a really great opportunity for him because it seemed like he wanted to play a really hard game, but he played it in a season where nothing happened.
Yeah, Mary talks about it in her exit press pretty much every interview she did where she's like, I had a conversation with Kyle where I was like, is this the kind of game that you want to play? Like, is this what you came out here to do?
I'm just curious to see how he does. Because here's the thing. He either shows up in 50, is a target immediately because he won the most because here's the thing. They are all flying to Fiji right now. They will not get to watch season 49. The last season that every Survivor player in season 50 watched before they got on the plane was season 48.
There's 2 people from 49. They just stayed in Fiji and they didn't go anywhere. Mm-hmm. That's insane.
And that's what happened historically. Yeah. Like Rupert with Pearl Islands to All-Stars. The most famous example of this happening is Russell Hantz. Because so Russell Hantz played this evil, super strategic, crazy game.
Yeah, him I remember.
His first time playing. And then he came back immediately for the next season. Yeah. No one got to see his season.
Wow.
So they didn't understand what kind of player he was. So he got to do it again.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest strategic thing. And we'll get that when we talk about the season 49 players. But the reason I brought it up was Kyle is the most recent winner on any of their minds. So when they show up on the beach in Fiji, they're all going to probably be gunning for Kyle because he just won the $1 million. So either he shows up and he goes out early, or he proves that he's an actually really good player. He deserved to win season 48. Maybe he'll even win again and prove himself to be one of the best winners of Survivor history.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him. I think I prefer for it to be just him and Camilla from this season because they were the duo and they ended up winning the game, and Camilla was a huge part of him winning the game. Because like we said, I think he sealed it with the jury when she lobbed up that pass to him, and then he dunked it.
Do you think that they're going to team up potentially?
No. I think they're too smart. I think they're both too smart.
You don't think they'll try to do another secret alliance that no one knows about? I don't even
think. I feel like, first of all, they're going to be separated. It's like, who knows? One of them could get voted out and be on a different tribe, and they just never even get the chance to link up.
They might not be separated. They might end up on the same starting tribe.
I don't know if they would do that, though. If I feel like people with connections, they might put them on different tribes just to shake it up.
In previous seasons, that's not been the case.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because and we'll go over this in a second.
I guess Jeff wants the target, or like he wants the drama of what will they do if they're together.
Well, I think what it boils down to is it doesn't matter at this point because all of these people know each other. They're all friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like the first All-Stars when Boston Rob and Lex had something planned going into the game.
So there's going to be some pre-gaming stuff.
100%. And that's where Kyle and Camilla are a bit of a disadvantage because they don't know them as well as, someone like Coach or Ozzy, who has been a part of the Survivor kind of club for years and years and years. Anyway, the final returning player from season 48, probably the most head-scratching person on season 50, Joe. Joe is coming back.
Which I think he was popular with more casual viewers of Survivor who are not on the internet.
45 years old, second runner-up to season 48, 11 total challenge wins. I mean, dude, I think it's the kind of thing of like, hey, you don't have Eva this time, so let's see what kind of game you play.
it could be interesting. I think he has a great story. He was really good in challenges.
Yeah. I mean, I'm curious. I'm not super excited to see him come back, but I am excited to see what happens.
Yeah, I am really interested to see how. I'm interested to see how all these, like every New Era player interacts with the legends. It's going to be really
100%.
interesting because we've never gotten this. This is the first returning season since
the New Era.
What, 39, right?
40.
40, okay.
Winners at War. Yeah. Well, so that's the case. Then there's going to be 2 players from season 49 that come back. What that tells me, because they could have just done 1 player from season 49, tells me that it might be a very entertaining cast, just like season 48. Mm-hmm. Do you think the winner of season 49 is going to come back and we'll get 3 winners coming back?
I don't know.
3 New Era winners?
I have no idea. I mean, I feel like there's no point in speculating just because we know none of them.
That's true. Very, very true. A few things I just want to talk about from this cast, because I know we've gone an hour already.
We can go as long as we want, brother. It's the off season.
True. The only returning winners are from New Era. There are no Old Era winners coming back.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm very excited to see the previous challenge beasts, like Ozzy, go up against someone who is a more current challenge beast and younger. Q is only 31 years old.
But remember, Q was not a challenge beast. He actually struggled.
Right. But I just meant age-wise. Like, Q, 31 years old. Ozzy is 43.
Yeah. But Joe is older than Ozzy, and he looked great.
Very true. Joe is 45, and he was a challenge beast.
Yeah.
Him and Kyle were the challenge beasts. I'd love to see... I don't know. I'm just so excited to see all of these people interact. Because it's going to be such a mix of people like Joe who want to play an honorable game and people from the old era who cut throats.
And this season, we're not going to, or for season 50, we're not going to wait 2 episodes because we will already know all of these people. So there's no point in watching a couple episodes. And then at that point, we can all have 6 players.
So... And let me ask you this, and we can keep this in because I think it's interesting, and the fans over on Patreon can put in the live chat what they think. We won't know anything about the season 49 players. Well, yeah, we will because we'll have seen the season.
Yeah.
Okay. So how many total players is this? 22?
24, I think Jonathan said, unless he counted it wrong.
24. 24
that's
players.
6 each.
That's insane.
Yeah, we only get 4. It's going to be nice to have 6, but man, how long is the season going to be? Are they going to add a couple episodes
they're
on
not.
there?
From what I understand, they're not.
So
it's
26
gonna be the
days?
same format.
So
yeah, it's
we're
going
to
to
have 2
format.
double tribals or something? Like,
I think we're going to have multiple double eliminations.
oh, that's
Here's
going
what
to be brutal, dude.
Dude, this is what I'm thinking is going to happen on episode 1, the premiere. Do you remember that one season where people showed up on the beach? I don't know if you saw this season yet. Everyone shows up on the beach. They pick teams. One person doesn't get picked, and they just go home.
Yeah, that was the most brutal thing I've ever seen on Survivor. You think that's going to happen?
I mean, I think we're going to get, at the least, we're going to get a double elimination in the premiere. At the least. There's no way. Because they usually start off with 20 players, right, in New Era format.
18, right? Or no, it is.
No, we
yes,
drafted
8. That's why I think that. Yeah, it's 20.
So there's 20. So this is 4 more players, but it's the same season length.
So
They're going to have to do multiple double eliminations.
Do you think it's going to be 3 tribes of 8 or 2 tribes?
Is that something we voted on? Did we vote on 3 tribes versus 2 tribes?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't know.
I'm really interested. I'm excited for all of it, for the draft, for being able to cover it. Like it feels like a huge deal.
It is a huge deal, and it's going to feel different.
Very different.
What they've done good about the New Era, and I think it's important, because what a lot of people consider the dark ages of Survivor was when they were doing these big stunts every season to try to keep people watching. So they were always bringing people back. They were always doing these big themes, and it started to feel redundant and not special. This is the first returning season of the New Era, so that feels special. We're going to see some changes to the format because there's more players. That feels special. I mean, dude, how crazy is it going to be if first episode we get a double elimination?
Yeah.
Someone's down from 6 players to 4 potentially. Episode 1.
I think that I'm probably going to lose a lot of sleep during season 50. If there's a double elimination and I lost both players, I don't think I'm going to have a rough week if that was in the cards for me. But
dude,
it's going to be
yeah.
It's going to be so much fun.
This is going to be the best episode of this best season of this podcast. Because here's another cool thing. We have binged the old era in hindsight. So, like, when we watch the first seasons and then they get to that first All-Stars, we know the other players because we watch those seasons, but we weren't as connected to them as we are to these new era players because we've been watching live.
Yeah, watching live and
drafting
discussing
them.
it. And
yeah, I mean, dude, when D goes home, it's going to be devastating for you.
Yeah. If I draft her.
I
That's
think
the
regardless, because you have a connection with her. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
'Cause
she
even if you
follows
don't
us on
draft-
TikTok.
Yeah. Like, if you don't draft D, you're still going to kind of be rooting for D.
Yeah.
And same for Q. I'm going to be rooting for Q. I'm going to be rooting for Ozzy. I'm going to be rooting for all of these, my favorite players, even if I don't draft them. This season's just going to be incredible, dude. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it'd be a crazy move if I was like, I'm just going to retain my team. I'll draft 2 players at the end. And then, but I don't know
We'll
how
have
that would
to
work out.
We'll have to talk.
Yeah, we'll have to
and really
figure it out.
We'll have to figure it out because a rule that I've been really pushing for season 50 is for the first round, you get first dibs on any players that you have drafted previously. So essentially what that would mean is if PD drafts first, then he gets first dibs. He can take D, he could take Charlie, he could take who else you got?
Tiffany.
Like, he could take any of those immediately. He would not be allowed to take Q because I get first dibs. So if I vote last, when it gets to me, Q will still be on the table because no one's allowed to take him until my turn. And then I can either choose to take Q or not. The second that first round is over and you either pick a returning player that you drafted before or you don't, everyone is free game at that point.
It'll be interesting. We'll have a making the merge board meeting and hammer it out.
Because that might be too complicated.
Yeah, but let's talk about who you would swap out. Who are like the 3 people that you would swap out, and who would you replace them with?
Do you have yours ready to go?
Yeah, I did all new era for mine.
Okay, you go real quick.
Okay, so I did a theme with mine where I picked 3 new era players that I would swap with other people from their season.
Oh, okay, that's a fun way of doing it.
So I would swap Tiffany with someone else from 46, and that person is not Banu. Believe it or not, it's Venus.
That's a good one.
I would put Venus on season 50 because she was part of what made season 46 so chaotic and one of the most memorable seasons of the new era because, like, socially she was terrible, but she was so confident. Her and Q together, and her and Hunter, and the way she went after people on Twitter. She did it in a way that I thought was hilarious. And then I would swap Genevieve for Andy. I feel like Andy's the better pick there.
I agree.
The more compelling character.
Because he was a very compelling character and a very good player. And he made it far.
Yeah. And then I would swap Jonathan from 42 with Marianne Oketch, who is a little spoiler alert, is the winner of that season.
Okay.
And Marianne, I'm going to peel back the curtain here a little bit. When I draft, I think, like, who is the most like Marianne? Because
interesting.
I watched season 42. It was my first season back from, like, watching when I was a kid, so like a long gap. And I remember seeing Marianne on the beach just so excited to be there. She, like, gave a little speech about how excited she is about Survivor and stuff. And then she was just this very, like, outgoing, goofy character, but also very strategic and under the radar. So I was like, I've never seen.
You look for.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody like this win before. Is what I thought. Like somebody who is a really charismatic entertaining character, but also behind the scenes,
strategic,
like really cutthroat. And her speech to the jury, I remember just being like, "This is the best final tribal speech one of the best I've ever seen."
I'm excited to watch that.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Marianne. She's also from Canada, so shout out to Canada.
Love Canadians.
10% of our listeners, so gotta shout out Canada. But there are some other players that I'm disappointed that didn't make it on the cast, like Jam Jam. I think maybe he turned it down because he seems to be happy. He seems to be doing fine. He's probably like, I won. I don't need to go back. But and Carolyn, I know her and Jeff have beef or whatever. I think, but she was like in the casting process. She just got cut. But I think she was a big star.
She is a big star. I'm just not a fan. I would have rather seen Banu than Carolyn.
I think for ratings, I think Carolyn might be better than Banu. But Jesse Lopez from 43 is another guy. I have a clip that I want to play from him.
There's one thing standing in my way right now. Between me and $1 million. Between me and being able to give my kids that security that I never had.
Everybody was rooting for him to win.
Dang.
And then he went to fire making and lost. And the whole time he was talking about I'm gonna win this money for my family, and I need to do all these things for my kids, and they're depending on me to come out here and come back a winner. And he betrayed his closest ally in the game as well, before to get to the Final Four.
Dang, that sounds entertaining. I can't wait to get there and watch that season.
Yeah, I really wish he had made it. Another guy I wish had made it was also from 42. His name was Omar Zahir.
You talked about him a little bit.
Yeah, he was the one that he was allied with Jonathan the Hembo, but he's also very strategic. I kind of forget how he ended up going out of the game, but I remember him being really smart in how he engineered a lot of the votes and the way he thought about the game.
That's really cool. Okay, so the three that I would flip out, I would switch out Suri for Sandra.
Understandable. I love Suri, but Sandra, that they kind of, it's 1A, 1B for Survivor Legends.
They fit that archetype of older woman Survivor legend. And also, I would just like to see, no spoilers for this because I don't know if you've seen these seasons, but I would love to see Sandra win this season. It would be really cool just for statistics and history wise. It'd be really cool. The next person I would flip out or switch out, I would take out Emily from 45, and I would actually put in Andy.
Okay.
So similar to yours, except I didn't flip out Genevieve for Andy. Switch out Emily for Andy. And then the last thing I would switch out is I would switch out Joe for Malcolm. Mostly because we don't have a lot of, which I don't even know how old Malcolm is at this point. Let me look it up. But we don't have a lot of younger challenge beasts, if that makes sense. So Malcolm's 39 now, but I still think, we just watched Joe play. Bringing Malcolm back would have been really fun because he has a big history, and I still think he'd be able to go challenge-wise. Because who were the challenge beasts in season 50? Jonathan, he was pretty.
Yes, he will be a challenge beast.
And then other than that, you got Q wasn't very good at challenges.
No, for a guy who was a professional athlete, he didn't excel at Survivor challenges. Burdette fumbles. That's what I remember.
Dude, that was heartbreaking when that happened. Kyle and Joe. Joe has 11 total challenge wins in one season, which is more than most people had. Chrissy from Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers had 13 total. in one season.
Heroes versus Healers versus Hustlers is the dumbest title that they ever produced, I think.
And it wasn't the most fun of the themed, like, because they did like blue collar, white collar, and that was fun.
Yeah,
the brains versus brawn versus beauty was fun.
Like heroes versus villains, everybody's on board with that. But then you get hustlers versus healers, and you're like, what are you even talking about?
It was like cops and firemen were the heroes, doctors and nurses and stuff were the healers, and then the hustlers were like business dudes.
Gotcha.
It wasn't the best.
Yeah, I'm glad they don't do themes anymore if they were like scraping the bottom of the barrel like that.
Yeah. But David versus Goliath was an awesome theme. And that was way after that one. But yeah, so I mean, I would want maybe a little, because a lot of the quote unquote challenge beasts that are coming back for 50 are in their 50s now. Like Colby, Ozzy's 43, which isn't too old, but you know, prime Ozzy, dude. I mean, he's 43 years old with 43 total challenge wins. He has one challenge win for every year he's been alive.
When you put it like that, that's why he's a Survivor Hall of Famer.
He really is.
There needs to be an official Survivor Hall of Fame, because it bothers me when Johnny Fairplay calls himself that all the time when it's not a real thing.
But I mean, he is
Survivor. Wait, I can do his intro. How's everybody doing? It's Survivor Hall of Famer Johnny Fairplay here, and I'm going to show you my epic new pinball machine that was sent to me.
You nailed it. That was awesome. Maybe we should make the official Survivor Hall of Fame.
All right, I'm down.
We'll sit down and we'll really work it out. We'll take it very seriously.
Yeah, number 1 pick, Genevieve.
All right, let's just end the podcast here.
The Making the Merge podcast.
Oh, that's another player I really wanted to see on 50.
Yeah.
Rob C. I listened to, because I got the Rob Has a Podcast Patreon because I wanted to see what their Patreon exclusive stuff was. And I listened to him talk about not getting on 50. And it was very interesting. He was very nice about it. You could tell maybe his feelings were hurt a little bit that he got cut. He was just honored to even be asked at all. But the big thing was he was kind of relieved because he wouldn't have been able to podcast for a year.
Yeah. And
that would have been detrimental to his business, I imagine.
Yeah, considering it's called Rob Has a Podcast. And if Rob is gone for a year, then, I mean, that would create some problems, probably.
Yeah, I can imagine that would have been rough. But
maybe they could change the title to Rob Doesn't Currently Have a Podcast, but there are still some people here, like Chappelle. Shout out Chappelle.
Because let's do the math here. He wouldn't have been able to do any podcasts starting today.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have been able to cover 49. He wouldn't be able to cover 50. And then he wouldn't be able to talk about anything at all until after.
Yeah, because it's impossible for him to do a recap of the show for hours and hours and not accidentally give away
slip
something.
Up and say something.
Yeah.
He did say, because me and you talked about this because we were really curious what would happen if he went on. He did say that once he got the official offer, he was going to have his attorneys and stuff send some stuff to be like, would it be possible at all for him to still do podcasts and exit interviews and stuff? But I think he even said it wasn't very likely. But,
him doing exit press with the people. Like, if they voted him out and he has to do their interview, that would be really fascinating.
Even worse, he blindsides someone and then has to talk to him.
And then they come on and they're like, we hate you. And
The Making the Merge podcast.
Well, that's all I got, dude. I'm excited to talk about 50, but we still have 49 first.
Yeah, so we got this out of the way. I'm sure we'll keep bringing it up because I'm going to be watching the tape, so I'm going to be thinking about it all the time. I'm going to be grinding that tape.
Watching the tape.
But it's not going to be silent film like they do with sports. Where there's going to be sound on.
Watching the tape.
And so what does this mean? Dr. John LaPook has what you need to know about all of this. Plus, there's another arrest in that bizarre case of a crypto investor who allegedly kidnapped and then tortured a man for weeks. Very crazy story. But first, it is 7:17. Time to check your local weather.
Very crazy story. Anyways, this has been Making the Merge.
All right, guys. We'll see you when we get done watching the tape.
Grinded the tape.
You're about to hear some ads that help keep the lights on here in the old studio. Thanks for listening or don't listen. It's really up to you at this point. It's at the end of the show. I mean, you're listening to me. Hi. But here they come. I promise they're coming. Yep, here they are. Happy day.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.